Good evening and welcome to the Executive Suite. We're connecting slightly later than normal today because I've literally just rushed back to come and connect with you. It's been a busy day, some unexpected events taking place, but I thought it's time for us to connect seeing as we missed getting together on Friday. So I really wanted to touch base with you and say hi and see how your week has started. How are things going for you? Now, I do apologise for not coming in and joining you on Friday. As the regulars know, I had a big event on Saturday. So Friday evening, we were setting up for the event, and it wasn't possible to connect with you in the evening. So I'm here with you today, hoping that your week has got off to a great start. Although if you're in the UK, in particular London, it's probably a very wet start for you today. And yeah, it was interesting navigating through the downpours today. But, we've got to the end of the day and it seems to be settling a little bit. So, how has your week started? Has it started as planned? Did you even have a plan for the start of your week? Or did you just decide to just go with the flow and see what happens? So as you know, this is the Executive Suite. It's the place where we come and connect, where we come to release some of the tension, to reconnect with our vision and our passion, and to get recharged so that we can do the things that we love to do. And today, what I really want to speak to you about is around the topic of success. Hi, Sheldon. So it's around the topic of success, and success can mean many things to each of us. So it's really, what is it that you class to be success? And if you are a regular on the Executive Suite, you may even be taking part of our 59 days of successes. I won't say challenge, but our 59 days of successes engagement, where we're looking at a win a day. Because I feel strongly that if you concentrate on having at least one win each day between now and the end of the year, not only will you finish 2018 strong, what you will also do is you will start 2019 from such a position of strength that your year kicks off to a really good start, and you may even overcome the January blues. So why do I talk about having a win a day, or actually looking for a win a day? Because if you've been in personal development for a while and you believe in the law of attraction and metaphysics, and even the universal laws, you will believe, or you will have at least heard, that what you concentrate on expands. So if you're focused on having a win, on a mini success or a large success every day, can you see how you build up momentum, how that will expand for you? Because that's where your awareness lies. Because you're always looking for opportunities to be successful at something. You're looking for opportunities to win. So if that's how you're going about your day, even if you have a challenge, your mindset is likely to be from a point of view of, well, okay, how can I turn this into a success? How can I get a win out of this situation? And so these are the kind of things that we will discover over the 59 days between now, well, it's less than 59 days now, but between now and the end of the year. If every day you're looking for that win. So I can say, for example, in the private group that we have, most days I've posted. I can't say that I've posted every day, but most days I've posted. But what I've found is that I seem to be having more and more things to be grateful for, more and more things to recognize as wins. So let me share with you the event on Saturday. So it's an annual event, and we have a number of high commissions that take part. We have private vendors that take part. And the whole idea behind the day is to raise funds for my charity so that we can continue to sponsor girls throughout their secondary education. And over the last 4 years or so, the fair's raised a moderate amount, not as much as it used to do in its heyday. But this year's host had a certain figure in mind that she had as her target that she wanted to be able to raise and then hand over to our charity. And she was very clear about this figure that she wanted to raise. So, with that in mind, there were different avenues around gaining sponsorship, around having private vendors, etc., etc., etc. So the fair happened on Saturday, and I am delighted to say that the energy in the venue was quite phenomenal. It was like there was an air of celebration there. Everybody seemed to be in high spirits. We had bulk numbers through the door. I think in the end we had around 1,800 people come through the door during the course of the day. We had quite a large number of private vendors, as well as quite a huge number of the member Commonwealth missions take part. So out of the 53, I think we had a minimum of about 40 that took part. So it was a really, it was quite a big event. So on Sunday morning, I received a message from the hosts, saying how, great stuff. I think we've hit our target. Like to have a meeting with you tomorrow at 12. So off I went to this meeting today, and we were all going through the figures, looking at what was raised from the different areas. So whether it was admissions, whether it was donations from the different high commissions, whether it was sponsorship. I'm trying to think however else funds were raised, but for all the different avenues through which the funds were raised. Obviously, we do have the expenses that have to be extracted from that figure. But I am delighted to say that the news that I got today was that we've exceeded the target that the host had. And I'm not disclosing the figure on here because I've not even told my trustees yet what that figure is. So I can't really tell you without telling them. But we've exceeded her figure. And, oh, hi, Noreen. You trust you to come in at this point. Guess why I didn't let the cat out the bag. But we've exceeded the target figure, which means that that's going to enable us to sponsor a significant number of girls during the course of the next year. And this is what the whole event was for. And to be sat in that meeting today and to see the calculations and to receive the news that we are going to be presented with quite a substantial check so that we can continue to do the work that we love to do. That is definitely my win for today, which I will be posting in the private group, just the fact that of the news. I won't be posting the amount. So that was my win for today. So again, if you're part of this private Facebook group where we're doing our 59 days of successes, do keep sharing your wins. And I said before, no matter how small that win may be, it's still a win for you. As I was talking to one of our regulars on, I think it was Thursday or Friday, I spoke to him. And we were just discussing, the wins, and he was saying, I've noticed that some of you have these really good wins and you're on a roll, but he didn't feel that he had had some wins. But for me, it was a case of, if you've woken up and opened your eyes, that's a win because you're still here. And it means you've still got the opportunity to go out there and do something. You've still got the opportunity to make a difference. So waking up is a win. So if you're part of that private group, if you got up today, that's a win. If you were able to go out and do something that you wanted to do, that's a win. Because each time you recognize an achievement and the things that you get to accomplish, and you note them down as a win or an achievement for yourself, all you're doing is putting yourself in that space where you can see more areas that you're successful in. But if you're not in that mindset of recognizing and acknowledging when you've achieved something, when you've had a win, no matter how small, can you see how the story can be quite different? Because you can start to focus on what you feel is not happening for you. And when you're focusing on what's not happening for you, what do you think is going to happen? You'd actually stay stuck and stay in the same place. So this is why it's really important, especially if you want to end this year strong, to focus on your wins, focus on the achievements, Set yourself goals if you're not naturally seeing those wins. Set yourself goals. And it may start out with a small goal. It may be that you just decide to go for a walk for 20 minutes. But if you achieve that, that's a win. It may be that you decide to do something different to what you've been doing before. And once you've done it, that's a win. So only you will be able to know what your successes are. What does success mean to you? And I would say, if you're not already part of the group, private message me and I will add you as a member of the group so you can start sharing your wins and start seeing them. Because when you see them, it does change your mindset. And it actually starts to create opportunities for you. So that was one of the main things I wanted to talk to you about on the 59 days of successes. But something else I want to talk about is really teamwork and collaboration. Because again, this scenario with the fair that we had at the weekend, this year was the first time that our organisation actually played an integral role in the planning of the fair. Now, I've been involved in it before in another capacity, but as part of my organisation, it's the first time we were actually given an equal seat around, should we say, around the planning table. And what that did is that it made it more collaborative, and we had, a wider viewpoint of how things are done, why things are done. And it just so happened that the other participants that were taking place, that would take the stall holders, should we say, they wanted the information to understand what goes on behind the scenes, understand who they were raising funds for, understand the mechanics of it. So by me being a part of this team, what it did was it captured their imagination for them to be able to support it more fully and engage more people in what we were doing. And this is something that is, I think it's in this day and age when we're looking at wanting to be successful, it's that art of collaboration, that art of realizing that although you may bring somebody on board to work with you, they're not necessarily taken away from what you're doing and what you're about. It's really how you get stronger together by working together. And this was very important for, I'm just keeping an eye on the time. This was very important for us in what we did over the weekend. And, the proof is the record result that we've managed to achieve. So I'm quite delighted with that. I'm quite happy with that. And really what I would encourage you to say, so Sheldon, for example, in terms of you, would you like to share some of your successes that you've had? Because I know you've been taking part in the 59 days of successes. So would you like to share what it's felt like for you to be part of the 59 days? Because then other viewers, whether they're watching live or on the replay, will get to understand the snowball effect of recognizing your wins, recognizing your successes, and how they seem to multiply and things happen for you quicker and quicker and quicker. So, do say how you found it as well. Was that NP or was that no? Right, so you don't want to share what it was like for you. Okay, thank you very much for participating. Not, but okay. And just looking at okay. So another way of looking at successes and say finishing the year strong. It's about was talking about collaboration, and let's look at opportunities, because although the year is winding down, it's getting darker, earlier, etc. There are still opportunities to be had now. There's still partnerships that can be formed, that you can set yourself up ready for 2019 and start planning and putting plans in place. I've been working with a few individuals, helping them, for example, with their systems and their structures, so that they are building upon their business framework that they have at the moment to position themselves so that doing business becomes easier for them. Because without a system, what you may find is that when you're having those conversations about your business or what you can do for people, not as clear as you could be. So therefore it's harder to explain exactly what you do. But when you have a clear system in place, when you're having those engagement conversations, what you find is that as people are talking to you, you can automatically, hi Richard, thanks for joining. You can automatically see where in your business they fit in. So what part of your business you can offer to serve that person. So it's very, very important to really start looking at your systems and how your systems are working at the moment. And if they're working well for you, brilliant, keep doing what works well. But if you're finding that your business is not going in the direction in which you want it to go, now is a good time to really sort of reassess your systems. Look at how you do business, how you operate, and what it is you're actually offering. And then, whether it's the case you speak to someone like myself, or if you know somebody that is quite clued up on business systems and your structures and what you're offering, because you may offer a product range, but if you're not offering it in the way that's acceptable to your customers or your potential customers, then you're not going to have those customers. But if you know that the right order to offer your products in at the right levels, then you'll find that you can be more engaging. So I know, for example, because my thing is really understanding people's business, understanding what they're about, how the system works for them, what they can offer, how they can support. When I'm having conversations with people, straight away I can see which part of what I'm offering would be suitable for them. And therefore the conversation that I would then be having is relevant to them. So it's not about me trying to say to you, oh, I've got this here, take it. It's really me understanding where you're at and what's relevant to you so that I can then offer you what's best for you. Because there's no point in me offering something that's not going to help or assist you. Because that sort of, it defeats the whole idea of me being of service. So I was speaking to somebody last week, and the original conversation was around how can I help her systemize what she does. But then whilst we were talking, it became very apparent that what she actually does isn't what she wants to be doing. And so what she really needed from me was something quite different. So when we established that and started speaking around what it was she really needed, then the conversation took on an energy of its own, because I was speaking to her at the level of where she was at, what she needed to get her to that next stage of what I could then offer her later on. So that to me is something crucial for people to be looking at now before we finish the year, so that you can start to tweak and work on your system, work on your structure, work on your products, work on your services to enable you to excel towards the end of this year and definitely for the beginning of next year. So I just need to have a little sip at the moment, so bear with me. See, I thought I'd bring a bit of nature inside with me. So yeah, so that's, one of the key things of talking about systems, ending the year strong, really is about recognizing your successes. It's about having the right systems in place that enables you to get the results that you want. And again, can you see how that also plays into this idea of having a success? Because if you've got the right system in place and you're working your system properly, and then you get the results that you want, again, it's another success to recognize and acknowledge. And then you can keep doing more and more, as they would say, rinse and repeat, because if it's working for you, then obviously it's worth just repeating the process. But if you keep doing that and it's not working for you, what that then means is that you need to do something different. You need to look at your systems to see which part of it's not working for you. So I hope that that's been of some use for you. And Richard, I was just saying earlier on about people that are doing the 59 days of successes and posting your wins and recognizing your wins. Now, I know that you tend to like and comment. So how are you enjoying your wins? How are you recognizing and acknowledging your wins? And are you realizing that if each day you recognize and acknowledge your win, that you create this snowball effect, so that as you go forward, you're then feeling stronger and stronger and stronger because you've got more and more and more successes behind you so that they can propel you forward to keep doing what it is you need to do in order to get even bigger successes. So I hope that the process is working for you as well and that you're working it. So really tonight was really just to come in and say hi and just, to touch base on the 59 days of successes and talk about how you're acknowledging your success and setting yourself up to really end the year strong. And I will keep mentioning about ending the year strong because I think this year has been quite an interesting year for many of us, whether we're in business, whether we're thinking of going into business. It does feel very much like a transitional year for many people. Right. It's what you class as a win, Richard. That's the funny thing. So it's not what I class as a win, it's what you class as a win. I mentioned earlier on, if you woke up and you were able to get up, that's a win because it means that you've got another opportunity to make a difference. So a win is what you place the value on. So if, again, you're on here, that's a win. So that's where I'm talking about. It doesn't matter how big or how small, but it's acknowledging where you've had an achievement or you've accomplished something within the day, because that's the momentum, that's the fuel to keep you going, to keep you wanting to take the next step. So if we acknowledge those and get more and more and more of those and get used and get comfortable to acknowledging our wins, then it's easier to do more and more and more. So, okay, yeah, so that's a win. You're saying you're getting more engagement, more likes and more hearts. Yeah, that's a win. Now, in terms of what you do with that, what's the next step for you? Is it that, you just want to keep getting engagements and likes, or, what's the next step for you? So those are the things where that's one step. But is that going to be the thing for each day, or is tomorrow about something else? So again, it's really looking at how can you create your own snowball effect? How can you ensure that you're consistently feeling that you're achieving something? Well, again, disappointments, Richard, it's how you face them and it's what you do about them. So I've mentioned earlier on, yes, challenges may come and situations may occur, but when you're looking at them, is there an opportunity for you to have a win there as well? Is there an opportunity for you to find a solution? Because when you find that solution, would you say that's a win? So again, the more you're in that space of looking for the win, looking for the success, and recognizing it, then those are the things that then propel you to say, okay, where can I find a success here? Where can I get a win here? So that's what we're talking about by ending the year strong, looking for and finding the opportunities for you to have a success. So you said, that's great that Bradley's praised your content. So you're saying you're not well, or that you don't look for it well. So again, it's, if you're unwell, then, how are you taking care of yourself? That's the other side. And again, by you taking care of yourself and nurturing yourself so that you do feel well, then that's the win. When you actually start to feel better, because you feel better tomorrow than you felt today, that's definitely a win. So it's very much you recognizing it, you acknowledging it, and therefore using that to propel you forward and then to keep going, because sometimes we run so fast that we actually wear ourselves out. So it's learning the tools. If you've run and you've worn yourself out, what's the lesson that you've learned from that? And then what do you put in place to make sure that you're taking care of yourself, that you can keep going and acknowledge that? So that's the other side of that. So thank you for actually sharing some of that and for participating, because this is what the Executive Suite's about. It's where we discuss what's going on, but we look at how we can find solutions, how we can support each other. Right, so, okay, you're saying you don't respond well to disappointments, but do you look for the lesson there? Yeah? So, it's a case of, do you look for the lesson in that disappointment? because all of us face disappointment. And yes, okay, tell me the private message, but all of us face disappointment in life. You know, if I was to say that I've never had a disappointment, I'd be lying. So we all face them, but it's how we handle them. How, you know, I'll give you a prime example. I gave a talk at the event on Saturday, and somebody was supposed to be recording me, but they actually missed the first part of me speaking because something had occurred that took them away from their spot. And when they came back, I was already on stage speaking. So yes, it was disappointing to an extent that we didn't have the whole of it, but we got part of it. So it's a case of, okay, I've had to swallow that, I've had to live with that, but I've got something out of it. So it's not a failure, it's not a disaster. So how do you look at disappointment? Yeah, you say you don't cope with it well, fine, not many people do. But how is the art is to learn to, how do you look at that disappointment? And then where do you look for the positive in the situation? Because if you train yourself to look for the positive in the situation, then the devastation of the disappointment isn't as long lasting and as hard hitting. Yes, you go through it and you feel it, but it doesn't then totally wipe you out, if that makes sense to you. So we're all going to face disappointment at some stage in our life, and quite frequently, to be honest with you, because especially if you're trying to progress and you're looking to move forward, things will always happen to sideline you or to change your trajectory or to slow you down. You know, you can guarantee that if you're out there trying to do something, something will get in your way. And that's something I can tell you for sure. But then you sometimes find that once you've got over that disappointment and you've made another decision to move forward, sometimes you can be thankful for that disappointment because it actually saved you in the long run. And I've had that too. So yeah, you know, understand yourself, and self-awareness is a great first step in order to help you to move forward. So, you know, yeah, be gentle with yourself, but see what the lesson is for you, and then take action based on the lesson that you know was coming your way or has come your way. So thank you for sharing with that. And tonight I'm actually going to wrap up now. How are we for time? Yeah. So I am actually going to wrap up now. And thank you for joining today. Thank you for those who watch on the replay. Do like, comment, and share, because that's how more people get to know about what's going on in the executive suite. That's how we may help. You know, if there's one message that helps somebody else on here, then we would have done somebody else a service today. So I just want to say, have an awesome week. Even if it is wet and windy and thundery as it was today, look for the silver lining around those clouds, and just have a fantastic week. And keep winning, keep sharing your wins, keep looking for your successes, and let's all end 2018 strong, because when we're doing it together and we can cheer each other on, how fantastic is that? So stay well, and this has been Roxanne St. Clair in the Executive Suite on Inspired to Achieve Global TV, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.